I've been raw vegan for 4 years. Raw veganism saved my life. And I'm about to show you what I was eating when I saved my life. I've had over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed, more than 7 major organs removed. I've been sick for 32 years. I was in bed for like 25 years all up. I think 15 years straight. I was just in bed or hospital. And I get on and do these lives and share on different topics and make food, make recipes, and help in any way I can, because I really went through it, and I'm not sure whether everyone has to take that route. I healed myself at literally rock bottom where I could barely read and write. And from there, the only way was up. Well, up or down. So I chose up. And I thought I would today. So I've been on a high omega-3 low histamine diet for about a month because I have mast cell activation syndrome. And most of my symptoms went when I started a raw food diet, but over time I noticed, and with perfect blood work, I noticed that I was getting rashes. I was getting a little bit of nerve pain would return. I was getting tinnitus, and I've been on this omega-3 diet and I've completely eradicated that. So all those symptoms have gone to a point where I can have more histamine high foods and I don't react. And I have had a bit of a cold, and I was questioning it, am I getting, I fixed everything, and now is this diet giving me a cold? So I looked at how much vitamin C I'm ingesting with having cruciferous vegetables, and I'm getting a lot. So I definitely do not think that it's what I was eating. But I was craving today my salad, which saved my life. So I, at rock bottom, discovered that eating cooked foods, I just was too sick to cook. And the raw plant-based food, when I ate it, I could get up and do things. And what I would eat each day, well, what I knew is I'd need a lot of flavor, to stay raw. So I would get a big bowl. I've still got the bowl that I used to save my life. I would get this bowl and fill it with a whole lot of raw food that I felt drawn to, that was full of flavor, that was going to not only keep me well, but keep lots of flavor. I wanted flavor. And because I feel like I'm doing really well on this omega-3 diet, I'm going to have high histamine foods, all raw vegan, all raw plant-based foods. But I want to show you the salad I ate most days back, when was that? How many, 4 years ago, that saved my life. This is the salad. This was my go-to salad. So, hey, I'm a huge fan. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. It is lunchtime here. I'm in Australia. It's 1:30, and I'm going to make the salad that saved my life today. I'm very excited to share this. I'm going to make it in the same bowl, or maybe I should make it in glass bowl. I'm going to do it how I usually did it, because this, you have to understand, I had been sick. I'd never cooked. I'd never looked after myself. I got myself into a situation where I had no carers anymore. And I worked out myself that raw foods got me up and moving, and that I had to just eat raw foods. And then I was like, Sky, you have been smoking, drinking to try and cope. You're on a whole lot of medication. You have vegan junk food. Not so much at that stage. I was eating a lot of plant-based food because I was so sick. I was like, what I can get my hands on. But you will not stay raw vegan unless you love the foods you eat. So this is what I discovered and what I love. So I don't mind being the mod here. Go for it. Here we go. Thank you for being the moderator. You're in Texas. I lived in Houston, Texas, back when I was 8. And they were like, y'all come back now. So anyway, I am going to make this salad. So first off, this is the salad that saved my life. And I ate it most days, different variations. What I would do is get this massive bowl. This was was on disability payments. So I got a bowl. This came in a set. So all I had was very basic things. So there's like a set. I'll show you. There's all different sizes. This was my only bowls. I don't even think I had normal bowls. So I would get the biggest bowl, and I would start with greens. Those greens can be anything. I have got some baby lettuce and also some salad mix, but I would also, it was what I could get my hands on. None of it was organic. I could get my hands on rocket, which I think you call arugula, and baby spinach. I love baby spinach, but it's higher histamine. So I'll try not to do too many high histamines today, but you would start in this bowl would be greens. So I've washed this one, but I might just rinse this one. I've got some cos or romaine lettuce and mixed leaves. So how am I doing now? So I showed some photos last night. Let me show you guys some photos of how this all played out. So that was me. I've got 7 major organs removed from hospitals. I'm doing amazing now. I just had, oh, what are we doing here? I had some mast cell activation symptoms flare up, but my blood work's perfect. I technically, under a medical supervision, I have nothing wrong with me, which is very rare for me because all I did is have to be in hospitals. I've had 60 surgeries. So let me show you a photo of me like a week being raw, which I showed yesterday on these lives here. Okay, this was, where is she? Where am I? Here. That was when I first started. Mind you, my liver was failing, so my eyes are yellow. Most of my hair had fallen out. It was grey. It's just tied up at the moment. Lots of it just tied up. Yeah, that's when I first started. I think about a week on raw foods. Now let me show you, I think it's 4 weeks in. About 4 to 6 weeks. All my symptoms were gone then. So, oh, you can't really see that one. I should have been a little more organized. Oh, I don't have a photo at that stage. I did. So I think this one. This is 6 weeks of raw foods. My hair had started to grow back. I was up. You can see my green juice there. And I'll show you 10 months on raw foods. Here's 10 months. That's 10 months of raw foods. I'm up at a restaurant. So, yeah, so I'm doing well. So this is like within the first year, I bought my first apartment. I started working. I was living the life. Yeah, so yes, but guess what? I got to being old, which is amazing. I didn't think I would reach 40 and I'm about to be 44. Is it cutting in and out, is it? Maybe I'll hold this here. So let me see if I can see if that works. Gabe showed your channel and he's been talking about it ever since. Oh, I'm so glad. Gabe, thank you. I'm so glad you're sharing. I'm hoping this can help other people. And this is the salad today that saved my life. So I am sharing it. Like, oh, that's the thumbnail. Is it still cutting out? Thank you. Okay, so I can't complain about how I look because I didn't look so good. And if the sound's cutting out, let me try. How is this person still here? Hide. There we go. We got rid of that person. We didn't want that person here. Okay, so tell me if the sound's still bad. I'm going to start this salad for you guys. Anyone who wants to heal, anyone who wants to feel good, I would say start with the salad that you love. But I got this massive big bowl and we're going to rinse this. So, do we have something? Yes, we have something to just dry it here, but I might chop it first. I remember buying that bowl, a chopping board and a knife because this was my first time living out of home because I'd always had carers and lived at home. So this is the salad I made. So we just get some greens, as much greens as you want, but this salad starts with a bed of greens. And I just made this salad up myself when I got myself well. I would eat mostly like fruit and veggies during the day, a little bit of nuts if I wanted, And then by about this time in the day, which is about 1:30, 2 o'clock, maybe 3, I would put together a big salad. And that was like my big meal each day. Please know my stomach's missing. Stomach's been taken out. So I don't eat massive amounts, but I put 12 kilos on in 1 year. So I could never put weight on. I put 12 kilos on doing this in 1 year. Okay, so I've got some more greens, just leafy greens. As I said, any of your favorite greens. The idea here is, as I say to people, is you want to stay raw. Don't worry too much about getting it wrong. Staying on raw foods is the trouble. Is if there's a way at the start that feels good, start there. Get used to the feeling. So let me move the bowl out of the way. I'll show you that bowl as we go along. Okay. So more greens in here. As much greens as you want. That's like the base of it. Okay, then the next part I was always trying to play with textures. So usually I'd get like cucumber, carrot, and zucchini next and make noodles, like what I would call noodles. All I had back then was a vegetable peeler. So I used to make like ribbons. This one, my Amazon storefront's not below, but this one is from Amazon. It's like $3. So I have some fancy noodle makers now, but this one is quite easy. It does. Okay, thank you. There we go. Is that better? Hopefully that's better for you guys. We don't want dodgy sound. Hey, Creative Heart. Hi, my friend went out and bought coconut water and it was awful. Is there different tasting ones? So you have to, there is different tasting ones. I don't know what type it was. It could be off. Was it a Thai young coconut? Because they're quite sweet. When I got coconuts in Bali, they are quite no taste. In fact, one of my good friends who's raw does not like those ones. When I was in Cairns, they kind of were sweet with more no taste. In Sydney, they're very sweet. Did your friend buy fresh? Oh, thank you. There is somebody in here that's supposed to be a moderator. Hopefully they're kicking people out. I'm so sorry if there's people in here which are not very nice. If anyone else wants to be a moderator, it's still cutting out. I don't know I don't know why. Yeah, maybe. If it's still cutting out. Okay, not on your, I've been blocking so many weirdos. You hear me perfect. Maybe it's your connection, Creative Heart. The audio is perfect. Thanks guys for letting me know. Yeah, I'm so sorry if people are saying negative things. I really am. Okay, so the second part, we do a base of greens, and then the next part, I haven't got zucchini. I didn't want zucchini today, but usually this would be ribbons, because I was trying to emulate like fettuccine or noodles, and these were starchier. So I'd make like noodles or ribbons, just like this. And just put them into the bowl. Now I'm going to keep making ribbons. I was asked I am making the salad that saved my life. I have had 7 major organs, I think more than 7 major organs removed, and I was asked by someone if I could talk on what deficits and problems I've had with those organs removed. So yeah, so I want to talk on that as I make these, but we've done, anyone joining, we've done greens, a bed of greens. We're doing starchier vegetables, which is zucchini, cucumber, and carrot, and we make them into ribbons because I was on disability. I was nothing fancy. We just make ribbons with a vegetable peeler. That's all this is. So I had my stomach, duodenum and top of intestines removed when I was 25. I'm now 44. I've done a live where I've gone into the full story, like the long story of what happened. But basically I had a perforated ulcer. I had a disease in my back, which was so painful already that I didn't feel the ulcer. And doctors tried to save it multiple times with trauma surgeries and they couldn't, so they ended up removing most of the stomach, the duodenum and top of intestines. Now, mind you, I was already sick, chronically ill before this happened. And I was asked what sort of things happened or what sort of deficits did you live with no stomach. To be honest, the first thing I noticed, and I wasn't vegan at the time, but I wasn't a big meat eater, was meat was the most difficult thing to get in and get down. Which makes sense because the stomach's job, and I think it speaks for why raw veganism is our natural diet, is you can even eat it when your stomach's removed. So there's not a way, no way in hell that I could live off just meat, not even possible. The stomach has acid which breaks things down, and I'm missing most of it. There is a little bit, so it just drops into the intestines. First thing I noticed is meat wasn't really going in. So I was never a big meat eater before I went vegan. I was never a big meat eater before I lost my stomach. But that was a problem. The next thing, and we're doing cucumber noodles now, was I had to have an iron infusion for the rest of my life and B12 shots for the rest of my life. Until I went raw vegan and healed my anemia, which is impossible apparently to doctors because I'm missing the part of my stomach which absorbs iron. When I had some meat in my diet, couldn't absorb it. Vegan, still needed infusions. Went raw and I didn't need an infusion for 3 years until I ate only fruit, and then my iron went down to 0.8. It was crazy low. So also I think I need this diet, and this diet works so well for me because I struggle to absorb hydration and nutrients. So if someone was to ask me what the biggest struggle is, it is nutrients and hydration. Let me show you this. So you can do as much as you want. There's no exact amounts. We're doing greens and then ribbon vegetables. Yeah, I've heard raw veganism can reverse iron issues. It seems to, and my doctors when I went were like, how? Like, because when I woke up from the surgery, there's a lot of rules and things that you now have to know about your stomach. The very first one of the surgeons told me was, from now on, you have to have iron infusions for the rest of your life. You are missing the part of your stomach, the duodenum, which absorbs the B12 and most of the iron is the top portion. And I'm fine. And usually I needed 3 to 4 infusions a year. I had 1 infusion after having way too much fruit. I'm back on greens now, higher greens and veggies. And my iron was still at 80. Like I used to have them on a paleo diet with nothing processed, just whole foods, including meat. I'd need them every 3 months to 4 months. So this diet, I've heard a lot of people who struggle with iron, and it's because iron isn't just iron. You need vitamin B12, you need vitamin C, you need vitamin D, you need magnesium. We are eating our vitamins, people. So, okay, Creative Heart, if you can be moderator. Thank you. Okay, so we've got this going on. So this is the greens and the ribbons, and you can do zucchini as well. I don't have any zucchini, and this was for me to emulate like pasta when I eat it. Mind you, I am now about, probably at the moment, maybe about 56, 57 kilograms. I got myself to 58 kilograms. I was, when I was eating this, like 45, 46 kilograms. Maybe 45. The doctor said in 1 year I put on 12 kilograms. So I would have had to be about 46 kilograms when I was making this salad to save my life. So we've got this going on. Now I would add any extra veggies that I want. Now I have some cruciferous here. I didn't add a lot of veggies. This was more what I added, but I would add some purple cabbage. So let's add some of that today. The other thing with missing my stomach was only before I didn't eat as much. That doesn't seem to really be a problem on a raw diet because this is so water-based, it's not irritating, whereas I just did not eat much. But in truth, I just struggled with nutrients after having the stomach, duodenum, and top of intestines removed. So we've got that. We want this rainbow. Looking at this makes me happy. So, yeah, there is no problem actually. Like I was talking, so I do sprouted lentils, I do lots of veggies, I do peanut protein. I've showed you guys before. I do peanut protein and hemp protein, just quickly. But I don't feel called to do it at the moment. If I do, and this is the seed with just no fat. That's it. It's not like a protein powder per se. It's just the peanut or the hemp. I have cashew as well, which is nice as a flavor. So, okay, the next part of this salad that saved my life, we'll leave this, was tomato and, well, what I would do with the tomato, because I was trying to make myself stay on this, was I'd get my little bowl, and I'll get the little bowl that I'd used. I think I still have it. Okay. I would make myself like a little bruschetta mix to put on top of the salad. Well, I was determined to make this lovely, so I would stay raw vegan at the start. So I would just cut up any tomato that I had. Oh, I don't have basil. That's what I would mix in. I would do like a basil, but we've got coriander, so I can mix that in. I would usually do, get basil and tomatoes and just mix it with together to emulate. I was trying to just emulate things that would keep me raw, things that I loved, and I loved bruschetta or bruschetta. We could say bruschetta. I think other people say bruschetta. Okay, so I have coriander here. I usually had, when I was healing, coriander and basil on hand. So just pretend this is basil, guys. I would put this in the bowl, and I think I would put a little bit maybe of just, I don't think I needed much, but because there'll be lemon on it, but I think to mix it. And I would usually, I think if I had some red onion, put it in that little mix as well. So I'd make like a little side dish and just let that soak. I think I might have even put some garlic. I've got garlic here. Instead of putting in the whole salad, I think I let this soak to the side. Because what I knew is my biggest battle staying raw was my brain. And like if it thought it was getting what it loved, there'd be no problems. So I was like, what are fresh things? I'd been vegan for 2 years and I'd been eating pretty high. Well, besides I'd been drinking, which wasn't good. That was numbing the PTSD. Don't recommend that for healing. So I would just chop up some of this and let it soak while I made the rest of the salad. Maybe some more garlic. Who doesn't love garlic? So I would go out and buy about $50 worth of produce, and that would last me about 2 to 3 days when I was healing. But that's all I spent my money on: food, rent, and my internet bill. That's it. So then I just let that, just pretend it has purple onion in it. So I just let that soak to the side. I've been vegan, and we worked out yesterday, it's the 2019, at the start of 2019 I went vegan. 6 years, and I've been raw vegan for 4. But like I was in hospital most of the time I was vegan, like 10 months straight, and then a neurological hospital for 2 months. And then in and out of another psych hospital, all for PTSD. So most of it was in hospital. So the food I was fed literally looked like cat food and dog food. It was like, I don't know what it was, but there was something in my soul that said, Sky, you can't barely talk. And like an animal could just eat you right now, but it never has. It loves you. And your whole right. Everything got questioned. You can call it dark night of the soul, an awakening. I questioned everything I'd ever done. Why was I like this? Why did I treat this person like this at school? Why did I walk on ants? Why did I, like, it was, to have your consciousness be in that situation is probably now why I am who I am, but at the time it was hard. So this is the little bruschetta I would have to the side. US, I don't even know what that means, so I'll just do this right here. Yeah, it's not good, but what I love to say to people is I have been through it. Like, losing my stomach was literally like skipping down the street. When, like, it compared to what I went through when you lose your mind and your memory, and then I had FND and I couldn't talk, and when they took all these psych meds off me and put me on new ones, they took all these painkillers off me. They should never have done what they did. But what I have endured and survived during that period, and because I haven't even got to the other organs that are missing in my body, that's just normal life. This was freaking crazy, but it gives me the strength every day. If I can get out of that at the time by hanging on, at the time all I could do was hang on, but glimmers start to come back. And a lot of what healed me was all things I already had inside me. None of it was my university degree. None of it was all the professors and doctors. This was all me. Does raw vegan mean everything is not cooked? So basically, yes, but have a dehydrator and your blender can blend and slightly warm foods. Please just know that when I healed, I mean, I had donated clothes, donated lounge, a television which didn't work. I had my weekly money from the government, which, as I said, went to rent. Food, once I figured out the food was going to heal me. The internet, and did I say something else? I think it's occasionally petrol, but I didn't go anywhere. I could barely drive. Actually, I should not have been driving. But yeah, I knew this was going to heal me. I didn't have a blender, all I had was a chopping board, a vegetable peeler, and this knife, which a family friend had gifted me. I still have it. And these bowls I bought at the shopping mall. So these are from the supermarket where you buy food. And I keep them because I have such fond memories of healing. Oh, I know what I was going to do for you guys. When I started healing, I knew what I was doing was like a miracle. And I took photos of the whole process. Like, not video, a lot of video, maybe some video, but a lot of photos of like me seeing sunrises, sunsets, discovering different foods. And I was going to pull them out because they're on a hard drive and do a video and show you guys the progression. There's also, I think, photos of me in there as I'm getting well, because there's a lot of content I've got that isn't that. Okay, so we've got the bruschetta going. Next, I usually would put a whole lot of fresh herbs on top. I would also put red bell pepper, but I did not. I thought the shop did not have basil. So what we'll do today is I would just in these bowls put as much as I could. We will use mushrooms, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. We were putting as much, the more in the bowl, the better I seem to love it. Some days I did lighter salads, but most of the time it was like my whole day revolved around this yummy salad. If not, and also I was outdoors when I wasn't doing this. Even I was stinging as I remember making this to run back outside to this funny car park with this funny chair, which had me in the sun. There was only like there was no like ground or grass. There was a tree sticking out of the concrete, and me in this broken chair that they were going to throw out in the tip and the throw out. And I'm like, no, and it's like crooked. But all I wanted to do is be out in the sun. I was near the beach. I couldn't walk to the beach, but I could walk to the river. So a lot of the time I went and would go in the river. I was always in nature, and that plus the raw foods literally saved my life. But it's so funny. I remember in the afternoon this funny chair. I wonder if I think there is some photos by memory. All the weaving had come off. It was like all half hanging, but I was so grateful because I wasn't in pain. I wasn't suffering anymore. I was like, I've got sunlight and happiness, and yeah, what more can a girl want? You know, I grew up like, went to a private school, lived on the water. My family was very well off. I was always miserable. Now here I am with hardly any money, disconnected from my family, on the concrete with a broken chair. And I'm like, I'm so grateful after what I've experienced. So it's funny what life teaches you. So that's what I wanted to say is if you're going through a dark time, life is teaching you some very deep lessons. My greatest lessons were taught in my darkest hours, where I didn't even know how I was still alive. And there, so we've got next some Brussels sprouts and mushrooms. Now I would do some bell pepper. Remember, we've still got this marinating here. I'm making a salad which saved my life. So I do a bit of this. And okay, so the other organs I have missing is I had a complicated hysterectomy for pain. I've had tumors removed, I've had ligaments removed, I've had glands removed, mostly around my pelvis and back. To help with pain, they used to put Botox in and local anesthetic. I was on a whole lot of medications. But I had a complicated hysterectomy, which means they took the ovaries, the fallopian tubes, the uterus, and the cervix. It's all gone. I think also ligaments that were supporting it. They took whatever they could to get me out of pain. Why did they do that? Because after being in chronic pain in my pelvis and back since I was 16, to the point that when they use biofeedback machines, the readings, they use these for women in labor. I had no reading. They couldn't get a start reading because the nerves were so firing all the time. I was in cardiac units on ketamine for pain. Like, they needed to get rid of the pain. They put me in chemically induced menopause and my pain stopped completely. I was in still other sort of things, but I had this, it caused a neuralgia through the face. It caused pain all through the face, all down the chest, all down the back of the arm, into the fingers, all the way down, all the way around here. So it kind of came from here and went up like a claw and down into the sciatic nerve, into my leg, into my toes. It was like the two first ones, which were the worst. So it was like the two here, and it was like all on the front. So they gave me a full hysterectomy, which definitely helped. Okay, but out of all the organs you take out of the body, you don't realize as a woman how much. And a lot of women, I think, are going through menopause now. I went through menopause within 1 month. So your hormones are through the roof at 30, and then boom, you've got none. You don't realize how much who you are is because of your hormones, especially as a woman. Stomach, you know, you get back to work or you can't work or whatever, but who you are, I remember getting to a point where I just could not get up. My brain could not think. And there's studies that show how when a woman goes through menopause, the electricity or the light literally goes off. And then as it turns over or shared to the adrenals, it does reboot, okay? But it was, for me, it wasn't perimenopause. It wasn't slow. It was like instant. That's the biggest thing. It was like losing myself. And then also you start to think, I think at the time, I just wanted to be out of pain. I saw experts about having eggs frozen to have babies later. I was like, guys, get me out of pain. Just take me out of pain. So the hardest thing was, like, it feels like losing yourself. I see a lot of women, young women, who talk about getting their problem gone with a hysterectomy, but then they've completely lost themselves. It's hard to explain. I haven't really ever mourned not having kids because I was just grateful for my health. But I have been through a lot of trauma. But if I was to say what was hardest, now I went through a stage doing the diet I am now, I'm much better, but I was putting weight on around the middle when I was doing huge amounts of fruit. I was getting weight all around here. But each of those days I was having fat. Even if I had 10% fat, I seemed to just put on weight. I feel so much better having like greens, veggies, nuts, seeds, fruit, like variety now. But we're doing the Save My Life diet right now. This is the salad, what it would look like. So, hey party boy. Yes, we are making the salad that saved my life. Okay, so usually here, and we can still do this so it looks like the right salad, is I would do a lot of fresh herbs. And I've got this little bruschetta going on here, which has got probably enough garlic for the salad. I would top this now with nuts, seeds, avocado, any fermented foods I wanted, and we've got the dressing going on. So we can put some more, just so put a little bit more herbs, because that would be what goes on top. We then put the bruschetta we made earlier, with the bruschetta mix, the top mix, which is garlic. There should be purple onion in there. There's a bit of lemon, mock basil. We've got coriander. It's also, I've got lots of flavor. Okay, so we've got that to the side. Now we also want avocado was literally my dressing. Now I haven't had a lot of avocado because histamines, but I really noticed that a reason I'm so adverse to ripe bananas and ripe avocados is they are really histamine packed. These are lower histamine, so I would do a whole avocado would be my dressing. So remember back then I was like, I usually don't do a whole avocado now, but back then I was 45 kilos, so smart girl I was. I knew what I was doing. The other thing I can't get yet, which was a key in this, is mango. They will be in season very soon, but they're not. So I'll show you what I might do to emulate that. Because it's like salty, sweet, there'll be spicy, there'll be all of that stuff. So this is, we're doing greens, you do veggies. I did a little bit of bruschetta and then you did fresh herbs. And that's even a small avocado. I would do like a massive avocado as the dressing, like literally lots. Might even do half of another one, we'll see. I want to show you guys what I did. Okay, we'll start with this though. That's a lot of avocado. Okay, so then the avocado would go on like that. So we're doing that. And I would usually put the, oh, we got leek. I would do some sort of onion. Green onion, leek, red onion. What else we got? We got yellow onion. So now we've got, okay. Now that might look big, but once you put the dressing on an avocado through, it's like cooked spinach. It all shrinks. All shrinks down. But I love that big bowl I got from the supermarket. So we did that. Massive amount of onion on top. Like that. Okay, do you have a favorite vegetable wash that you use or you make it yourself? Okay, so I kind of don't wash. So when I do, but I don't. When I first healed myself, I was in this mindset of doing what I was called to do. And sometimes I was called to wash, sometimes I wasn't. But I think it depended on what my body needed. I was talking last night how I think there's a lot of bacteria we get rid of that helps the body from foods. But I am in Australia. I don't think we have much. This is a lot of this is spray-free and biodynamic. But when I usually just use water if I wash it. The other thing is the other thing I've used is bicarb and lemon in the past, but then my food just tasted like it and it made me sad. So I was like, I'm not doing that. So basically I only use water. I see people use different veggie mixes from the health food shop, but I don't. Okay, the other thing I would do is usually, I couldn't get fresh turmeric today. I would do like sheets of ginger and turmeric in my salad. So we go lots of, oh my God, that smells so incredible. Lots of ginger. Okay. And I just put that on top there with that. I'll show you guys. But also I would do sheets like that of turmeric. And I just did this because these are flavors I knew and wanted. We got all this going on. Now would be all the fun part. I would each day pick whatever seed or nut I was called to. What you have to understand, I healed myself naturally without reading anything. I just worked out that I was better with the raw food. So then I worked out just eat what you feel called to. So I would open my nut and seed cabinet and usually pick 1 or 2 nuts and a seed, or 1 nut and 2 seeds. And it usually is cycled. So it was never really the same each day. I would, like today, let me see. I'll open my, feel called to 4 today. And that is, first off, some pumpkin seeds. And then I would have some almonds I'm just going to crush up. Actually, maybe just 2. I got cashews out as well, but I think these are okay. I actually really enjoy making these because I feel what I'm called to. I would have stuff in the fridge and have what I'm called to have. You know what oh, why not? Do a couple cashews. Got just probably like 4 of them. Nobody, oh, if you're raw vegan, you eat ginger. Trust me, you eat ginger. I remember at the start, before I got onto this, when I was still drinking off and on, I would literally only eat fermented foods, and it would set off like my mast cell activation, but I couldn't digest anything. Ginger really ended up helping me. It had a lot of the fermented ginger. So we've got this going on, and I feel like doing a little seed, which may be just some chia, because these are all bigger. Oh, maybe, you know what, maybe some sesame today. Well, we want to balance our omega-3s. So I do remember I always tried to do chia or flax. I don't think I knew that it was omega-3s. I just knew people ate a lot of them, and I was like, I should do that. So let's do some chia. Okay, now what else did I put? I put fresh chili in this. I put fresh chili. Chili literally helped me with my addiction. My brain would light up with like a Christmas tree. So I was eating like I've been smoking, drinking, on all these medications, had junk food, and then nothing. And I've spoken about how peppermint oil really helped me, but food-wise, the only thing that stimulated me was chili. So I would have a good amount of chili. I would just cut that up. Also, if you don't like ginger, but you like fermented ginger, start there. Start with what you like. Okay, so we do chili on top. Now I would also salt, pepper, and usually my 2 go-tos were, and I found out later that these are, well, smoked paprika is high histamine, but I would only usually have paprika. Is that, I don't use smoked, we'll use sweet. Yeah, normal paprika. Most days I would have turmeric and paprika on top. That was like my go-to. I ended up getting rid of every spice but those 2. What is that? That's empty. That ain't been anything. I'd have salt, pepper. So I would usually at this stage also, I'd use mango, but I'll use orange and lemon as dressing. That was my like go-to dressing. I also would have some apple cider vinegar. I was okay with apple cider vinegar last week. I don't know whether I feel like it today. Here we go. So I would just have a real massive amount of this juice. This would be so hydrating because I'd have so much of these juices. Yeah, the sushi ginger, they do. I think Lisa made one in her book this year that has maybe maple syrup. I don't know, I didn't read it, but I know it wouldn't have sugar. Okay, so we've got orange juice here. There's one, just over the top. And then more. Usually the mango would make this really sticky. More, not as much in that half. You've got that book. Bin is full. So then I would do some lemon. And I don't think I missed a flavor when I was making these sort of salads. So it is delicious, it's healthy, and I love like exploring different flavors. And I didn't do this when I was healing, but there's going to be seeds in that. We don't want that. I may have some more lemon, so we'll see. And I would do maybe just a little bit of apple cider vinegar, which I need to get out more of. So the guy I get this off is my friend from the farmer's market, and he makes this. But, well, we can do this today. We just do a little drizzle with this. So he makes this massive one, which tastes very different to store-bought, but I was using store-bought at the start. So just a little bit. Okay. I just think flavors can keep us raw. Having lots of flavor, but this is what I did at the start. Okay, and then we would do turmeric. That would be even more anti-inflammatory because I was really sick at the start. I was really sick. All I had was food. Okay, and then this is just paprika. Not smoked or anything, just normal paprika. There's chili in there. And that's it. The only true thing that is missing from this is the mango. But we might put some dates in if this is not everything I desire. Okay. Yeah, okay. So now I would always get tongs, and this is the best part. This is the fun part. This is my favorite part. Running out of room here. Okay. But also, I will see if I need to add anything. Because the idea is like the lemon and the avocado, and that was a small avocado though. The ones when I was healing were really big, and if they weren't, I would add like 1.5. So I think I need to add some more. And also the mango in it would add like another dimension, which was really good. Let's see. And because I don't have a stomach, I would usually eat this in one sitting, but sometimes if I didn't eat all of it, I'd put it to the side and eat the rest later. We'll see. But yeah, as summer comes, I love to make, yeah, that's better. I love to make this with mango. And it gets like a yellow tinge going on from all the turmeric. You guys see that there? I am Australian. Okay. And in fact, it gets better as you eat it because it all soaks through. But let me see if that is sweet enough. Oh, about an hour, but then if I put it to the side, I eat it over a longer period of time. Like I literally find it so relaxing to just sit in the sun and slowly eat it. Yeah, it starts shrinking down from the avocado and usually the liquid as well. But what I then used to do, because I was like new to raw veganism, I'm like, I'm not going to eat all this. So I'd get the smaller bowl. I don't even know whether it was that one or whether it was even smaller. We'll use that one. But I get a smaller bowl and I'll show you. I can stir it a bit more. Most of this is water, and once the body learns this is just water, it's happy. But yes, mango usually is amazing in this. I keep going on about the mango. It will come. that. And then, to be honest, I used to eat these with chopsticks. I didn't like the clinky. I was so sensitive. I didn't like the clinkiness, or like the noise that goes on when metal hits your teeth. I went through this stage of like anything that made me feel negative thoughts I don't want in my life anymore, because this food never made me feel negative. So I would just like get these. This is so good. I'm not sure what it's high and low in. It'd be balanced because there's salt added. A lot of foods have all the potassium, magnesium, all the minerals. So yeah, I would just sit in the sun and just eat my ribbony. Yeah, some good vegan like cakes, you just get like dates and cashews and blend it up, and then the base is like what, dates and almonds, and but I love this. This makes me so happy. It could do with it being a little sweeter, but were you addicted to metal? I don't know what that means. I don't know if I was ever addicted to metal. But yeah, as time goes on, this like gets softer, like cooked. It's got such a beautiful flavor. I don't even have a stomach. What's that? I don't know what that is. I think that's a massive piece of garlic that slipped through. So yeah, this is the sort of food that I have to stay healthy. This actually makes me the happiest. I know I make a lot of recipes and they make me happy too, but this is just, I guess, the nostalgia of saving my life with it. Oh, it's a reminder of addiction, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't addicted to metal. I just worked. No, that doesn't make sense. What happened is I worked out that when I thought about these fresh foods and when I made them, it made me feel good. And then afterwards, I felt good. I was like, well, where else does this principle serve in life? And I started to notice that every time something made me feel bad, I continued to feel bad after it. And I was like, well, the terrible noise of like a spoon, it's like crunch on your teeth, makes me chill. I don't want bad thoughts. I was alone. It was me, my salad and fruit. The only things that were making me feel bad was anything I did or chose to do. And like when I made decisions about what bin I was putting something in, usually I was always so exhausted, I just throw everything in the one bin, and I'd get down and I started to notice I felt bad. I was supposed to separate things, and I'm like, okay, that's going to lead me to separate things. It just made me feel horrible, and this doesn't. It's just wood. Do that with metal and no one feels good, so I got rid of it. I'll just let my intuition guide me. You just don't like. Yeah, I think I started to notice the vibration coming off. This is bamboo. Was a lot more pleasant in my life than the vibration of metal. That's what I think. I think it looks. It's all fun. But raw food is like that. Raw food makes me feel so good. Yeah, like I was craving. I love doing the high omega-3 diet, but it doesn't give me the excitement all the colors do. Which I guess we do when we're healing. But so far I'm not reacting to the histamines. But I still don't know if I could eat this salad again every day yet. I need to go easy. Well, in fact, I think the reason the chopsticks came up was that I loved ordering like vegan pad thai or miso soup. I loved, or sushi. And I made my little noodles at the time. That's all I could make. And I was using like sweet and spice with the mango. There's no mango in this. And I was like, I think imagining that they were noodles as well. But the reason I chose it to be bamboo was that because I was frustrated and I couldn't get forks. I had to order them on Amazon. And I couldn't really get on a computer at that stage. Couldn't hardly use my brain. Good with the nuts too. You have no colon. I'm so sorry. Yeah, because so people with their bottom bowel resect struggle with electrolyte balance because of that, the hydration and electrolytes they can't absorb. Unlike the top part, which is for me, which is more nutrients. Thank you. And so it's like, it's all soaking, it's all marinating. It just gets better as you go along. But hopefully I'm encouraging you guys to get all your favorite raw flavors and throw them in a bowl like this and just mix them up. So how can I eat healthy? So my suggestion is start with flavors and things that you already like. So like when I invented this, I knew that Mum would make mango avocado salads with other things in it in summer, and I liked spice. So I was like, mango avocado spice and greens, that'll be my start salad. And then I wanted to make noodles because I like noodles. So I was like, okay, we'll have to use carrots and cucumber and zucchini. So I worked with what I already had, like what I already liked, if that makes sense. Like some people like pear and fig salads, maybe pear with cheese. So have pear, fig and cashews. And I was really drawn to the turmeric, and I noticed that even before. Mum cooked with a lot of turmeric when I lived at home sick. So I think that's what I went off. Like work with what you can. But if that's all too hard, you know, if you like hamburgers and you're eating a sad diet, try a lentil burger one day. You've got to start with where you're at. So let's talk on this plastic. So they actually did a study the other day. That's not proven, what you're saying. I could only afford this bowl when I healed myself. I couldn't afford glass. When I always drink out of plastic water bottles. They're saying now they're finding more toxins and plastics and metals and stuff in glass bottles than they are plastic. So don't tell people what to do. Let people at least decide for themselves, is what I think. What I think people should do is go, hey, I see you're doing that and I do this, instead of being like, don't do that. I'm eating a salad out of a bowl and someone then goes, you're bad, you're eating plastic. I'm like, guys, come on. That's crazy. Nut bean burgers are a great transition. I'm not telling anyone to go raw. I just think it can be really difficult. I say start with where you're at. If you're a nacho lover and you like refried beans, try doing refried beans with your guacamole, your corn chips. And And maybe try a lentil mix one time, but start with the foods you already love that will lead you down the healthy path. That's what I think. I'm not saying you're bad, you don't want to have dementia. I don't have any health problems. And I don't know where the studies are that say my bowl's going to cause me dementia. There's new studies out. All I keep seeing on TikTok is all these new studies that they got it wrong. And I'm like, well, I got it right. Because I never felt drawn to the glass bottles. I thought there's something off there. I go on how I feel. Anyway, I love this bowl. You are a grown woman. Do you think this is normal? I don't know what that means. Some things people write, I don't know what it means. I tell you what I don't think's normal. I don't know if you're talking to me or someone in the comments. That's under the care of, I think I just got out of ICU there. So people that have been at university for 10 years. Or me with my plastic bowl and salad who heals herself. Me with doctors, professors, only reading journal articles. Or me. So I'm going to go with me. There's more. So I don't know what that person meant by do I think this is good. That's not right. How does the world let a woman get like that? Pay to look like that. Straight out, this is me out of hospital. This is me with no hospitals. I am in Australia. I didn't say that plastic bowl is healthier. I think you're missing the point. So if somebody presents you with the cure for cancer and you complain about the capsule possibly causing another problem and that's all you see, that usually means that somebody only sees the negative in the world. They can't see the, what do you call it? The trees amongst the, anyway, trees amongst the forest. So, well, 7 major organs removed. Botox in my back, medications up the wahoo, nerves removed, hormones, IUDs put in me, exploratory surgery, stomach removed, duodenum removed. Then I had all problems with my bowels that had to go in for more surgeries. It wasn't really me trying it, it was more doctors trying it. I don't know whether I don't know what I believed in anymore. Oh, but then this felt good. This actually feels good. The capsules for these are just vegetable cellulose. So I don't know. Yeah, Dan McDonald takes them, and he only has juice in those. I actually complained to him about them. I said I pop them open. I don't even use capsules. I do have a gallbladder. Raw definitely heals. It definitely heals. Hang on. It was so quickly too. Oh, that's 10 months. 10 months. And my hair, you can see my hair's come back. Yep. The first part of this live, I share about the organs. I've had my stomach, duodenum, top of intestines, ovaries, fallopian tubes, cervix, uterus. I've also had my adenoids and tonsils removed. So all up, it's probably about 10. But so the enzymes, these are enzymes and probiotics. They don't help me with transit speed. I'm like floating there, I'm floating. They don't really help me with transit speed through the gut, but they help when I look in the toilet when I've had these, everything's broken down. So it's all broken down, but for me, it's probably gonna be extra good. So I had a lot of people say to me when I was first raw vegan, a lot of people who have been 2 years, 3 years, 4 years say, wait till you get to 2 years for many reasons. they would say, watch your teeth. Yes, I got teeth problems, but this is when I was on only fruit. Sorry, let me rephrase that. And they'd say, the common thing they'd say is after 2 or 3 years, they weren't breaking the food down. So people would say to me that they'd eat papaya and then next day go to the toilet and papaya would be in the toilet. Like it would just go through, not broken down. And Chris Kendall addresses this about how when we get too high into juicing and fruits, you don't get all the nutrients you need for your gut to facilitate the breakdown of foods. But Chris never said it to me. These were other people who are not so well known in the raw community would say things to me. And I was like, no, fruit's the way, fruit's the way, fruit's the way. And then I ended up with blood sugar problems and low sodium levels. And I showed a photo last night. It did not look good. No, well, see, I can get SIBO quite easily, and I think that's why having too much sugar is not good for me. But, and I do think I struggle with transit time, because when I was eating all fruits or higher fruits, I had this I had a belly, Buddha type belly. And eating more greens, it seems to still be slow, but I don't need as many calories. My body prefers nutrients, and I think that's a menopause thing. I think we get older and the body isn't like, I need calories, I need nutrients. Like it's gonna break down without nutrients. That's what I feel, is I'm more focused on nutrients, and fresher foods, I seem to be able to assimilate the nutrients more easily. So I live near the ocean. I don't live near the outback, but yeah, I think people who live in the outback in Australia, it's a whole other ball game, right? Like they are wrangling snakes and kangaroos and all sorts of things, spiders. I'm more on the shark scene here. I have never seen a shark though. It's weird, raw has kind of messed up my digestion. I need help for a little bit. Do you think these are best you've tried? I've never tried Pyridine, but I love Dan. Okay. I feel like my digestion got messed up because there's this idea. This is what I think happened to me, and this is just me. This isn't everybody. This is me. I feel like I got obsessed with shoving calories in. Like somehow I was doing it wrong without, I needed calories. Like, and that was probably also coming from a place where I was underweight, needing to gain weight. And maybe there's a period where that was important. But I feel like I was putting in too much food. Like raw food, I think, although maybe lower calorie, I feel like it's got more energetics. It just helps the body run efficiently. So the first thing for me was to not eat as much. That was the first thing I had to do. The second thing helped with me was magnesium at night. It helps with having a bowel movement in the morning. It also helps me sleep. It helps with muscles become smoother. So it helps the bowel in that way. Magnesium helped. I feel like this, so I went to Cairns and didn't take this, and I was eating chia, flax, and cruciferous and didn't have this. But I will say this has probiotics and all the enzymes, and what I notice is what comes out of me is broken down, and that's got to be better for getting nutrients. But when it comes to gut health, I was saying last night, the two things which are so important are hormones balanced and gut health. Like if you're healthy, that is. If you're healthy, you need those two things to be balanced to stay healthy. Otherwise, eventually you'll get bloating, gut issues, brain fog, and before you know it, you've got an autoimmune disease or some sort of disease. But yeah, no, you don't want to take any multivitamins. This is multivitamins. Anything you take which isn't fresh food is really hard on the system. I'm so selective. I'm like literally, all I do is eat nutrients. My food is nutrients. So it gets really good as you get down the bottom. So Someone brought up last night that men seem to do really well on all fruit. I think they were right. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe they do. I age really fast. That's the thing I noticed. I need this. Here's me saying I can eat all of that. I'm feeling pretty full, but talking to you guys has made me eat it slower. It's making me think now I have been still eating too much. I will eat that. What did I keep? Oh, I keep chewing into, I know what it is. It's the stalk from the Brussels sprouts. I wish I could get a kangaroo. Did I ever tell you guys the story about how this neighbor of mine had American cousins that came over in the school holidays and ran out to his balcony, and they're like, where are they? And he's like, where what? And they were like, the kangaroos. I was like, we don't have that many around here. And they were like, what about the kangaroos you ride to school? And he's like, what kangaroos I ride to school? And he goes, you guys all ride kangaroos to school? Do people in America really think this? This was a while ago. This is when I was at school. I was like, what? We ride kangaroos to school? Look, if you start eating a raw food diet, basically I feel like for most people, everything just goes through you. Like, much faster than you've ever known. That you didn't even know. Like, there's, like, when I was really sick, you'd go days without going to the bathroom. Now, if I went one day, I'd probably have a nervous breakdown. Like, so it's just, I think it's a bit of a different, you've held baby alligators. Aww. I'm not living in the outback. Oh, here, that has been my experience. I ate 3,000 calories of fruit but felt deprived, malnourished, and was gaining weight. Boom! That is exactly, if you could summarize what happened to me. And then I did, and then I felt really unstable. Like, I had got blood sugar problems, but I was just like, I was like swelling. And I don't know, I really believed in it, but that's exactly what happened to me. 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day, and I was just bloated, not feeling good, and I was always hungry. That made me sad. What did you do to change? What helped you? I think what helped me the most, I'm gonna have some more of this. Let me stir this up a bit more. Yeah, now it's getting good. Let me show you guys. It like marinates. This is so good. No wonder I eat so much. It's so good. It's like all thick and creamy. Yum. I wish you guys could try it. You have to make it yourself. Okay, so I think what got me to change was the fact that no medications worked anymore. My parents wouldn't talk to me. I had no money, I had no life, and I had been eating the food raw and noticed I could function. And I was like, holy crap, if I've been through everything I've been through and survived, I can survive the rest of my life eating raw food. And I said to myself, I remember I was outside in my concrete car park, what are you willing to do to still stay up? Like, you're outside. And I was like, anything, I'm gonna do anything. And that's why when I knew, but you have to face your weaknesses. So wherever you're at, you have to know what things that you love that are healthy. Even right now, if that's raw vegan desserts. Basically, you have to think both of them. You have to, or not just think of desserts. Any foods that you like that are healthy, start there. Start increasing those. And then it might lead you to something else. But also acknowledge what your weaknesses are. Like for me, obviously, remember how I keep saying I made these noodle type things? I knew I loved Asian style noodles. So they were gonna have to come in somehow with a vegetable peeler. Like, it's like, think about how you can do it, not why you can't. And when you're about to give up, think about how you can do it the least damaging way. So just say you are going out and you're like, oh my God, I can't just do, if you want to do raw vegan, I can't do salads and fruit. Just say I'm coaching someone and they're like, I was out, I couldn't do salads and fruits. So I ordered a side of sweet chili sauce and boiled vegetables or steamed vegetables. That is a compromise. They haven't gone back. They haven't done wrong. They haven't ordered the hamburger and ice cream, right? It's about acknowledging that you're about to buckle sometimes, and how does that look? That's just an example. But even like something that might be some comfort food for somebody. Somebody might like steamed vegetables with garlic, steamed with garlic and a bit of sweet chili sauce. Start there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's never always what you imagined. And like, as you can see, this saved my life because I loved it. Like, there's so much flavor in it. I was determined, like, so also a lot of people that I coach, they keep telling me, oh, while I'm healing, what do I do? Your whole brain is creating a new life for yourself. You learn how to make recipes. So you got food in the fridge. You look at farmers markets. Your spare time now is at health food shops. You know, your morning, you know, people might go out at night, but you get up in the morning and do what might be breath work, yoga, Pilates, all these things I always wanted to do. I never knew how to get there, but you just take it step at a time. There is no waking up and eating salads and doing, so I like, you know, my days are like, I love the cold ocean in winter, salads, Pilates, walks. I knew I wanted to do these things because they make me feel so good. Like I've been on oxycodone, ketamine, been on stimulants, I've been on SSRIs. I've felt drugged good to survive, but nothing is like the feeling of like life force. Like this is like living life force inside of me. And the ocean is, and walks are, and exercise is, but you start with where you're at. Like it took me 1.5 years to run. I just walked every day until my body could run because I wanted to run, but to run I had to walk. So start with what you can do. You might like roller skating. That's all good. Like you have to think of the things that are all good, and we know what are all good. Anything processed is not good. Even if you try telling me it's not good. Even this, I have to be very healthy to allow my body to get this in. I have to be very healthy. I have hormone replacement. That's the only thing I have in. I let it go because it gave me histamine reactions, and it took me 3.5 years to get it back in, but I worked hard to get it back in. Like the body works hard to get anything, really. Everything that's not fresh, it seems like the body works its butt off to just function or get rid of. What's that white thing on my elbow? I don't think there's anything on my elbow. I still like the fruit for hydration, me too. But it seems to do better with greens and omega-3 rich seeds. Yes, it does. I actually appreciate eating fruit more when I've had like veggies, greens, some seeds, a green juice, or you might have had a green smoothie. When I have fruit, I'm like, oh my God, this tastes amazing. Before it was like, how much can I shovel in? More dates, more raspberries, more, just more. And it was like, it became not very nice. But yeah, definitely listen to your body. I mean, look at Dr. Brooke Goldner. She looks amazing. I thought it was you, Creative Heart. Yeah, maybe I think so. What she's talking about here is Dr. Morse sees like fruit as the only way. But when you do look at women who have had excessive fruit for long periods and haven't got all the nutrients, everything shrinks in their body. Like for me to stay, women need to stay more, we have like 25% more fat, I think, than men. I think that's how much. And it's because we have bits, because that's our kind of nature. And I'm sure there's a whole heap of people that need to be kicked out of this live that might say inappropriate things, but those bits need to kind of be fed, right? So we need fats for those, otherwise everything will shrivel. And I do get what he's saying, but you're right. And I do think that there's possibly, if you lived on a beach, tropical beach, there is fattier fruits, so possibly, but I don't know. This seems to work better for me. Oh my God, yeah, there's sadly kangaroos do jump in front of cars. So yes, Creative Heart, that's kind of how it's good to do things your own way. Hi. Indonesian food, yes, it is good. There's lots of spices. So if I love like all those spices and flavors, but this seems to like hit the spot. It's like rich. You may not think it's rich, but to me it's like creamy and like, it's good. I'm getting full. I've probably eaten. I think this is also, eating on here is good because it's making me eat even slower, which is good. I really think we have to not think so much about shoveling food in as we do as in exercise, spend time in nature, and then appreciate the meal and just not overeat. I feel satisfied with high fat nuts and seeds. So do I. Also veggies, to be honest, doing the omega-3 diet, sometimes I just snacked on veggies and I didn't even have the seeds. I had seeds during the day, but not excessively, and I felt great. I'm getting full. But I don't think you're allowed to try it. They're not allowed to try crocodiles. I am eating a salad I made. The salad that saved my life. Made this every day for months. It was different variations on this though. Sometimes it'd be like no turmeric, more paprika. It was really about listening to my body. But some days it was always different seeds. Yeah. Yeah, that's sad. So, Party Boy said when he was at school, he knew a girl that was vegetarian. She ate literally exclusively junk food. And she had cookies, and I hope she's learned better ways now. Yeah, that's just like not good. That's why I think even before you quit meat is learn how to look after yourself. Like it's better to, because I feel like if you have junk food, you're going to need a lot of medications, and all the medications are tested on animals. So there's no favors. So all these people telling me that they're a junk food vegan, I'm like, but if you, the more people require medications from being sick from foods, it's not good. I'm not talking about people who are vegan, eating whole foods and like having randomly processed meats or processed, like as treats. I think that's different. If you literally live off like beer and Oreos and no whole foods at all, it's, to me, it's the same. It's like learn how to look after yourself. That's what I want for the planet, is people to love themselves. Oh, that's really interesting. So Madeline, I think it's Madeline, has said to Creative Heart that that's good to hear, because Madeline has a sweet tooth, but since eating more greens and omega-3, she doesn't feel so desperate to get food in as long as I don't have issues with blood sugar or fat gain. And I remember when I first became friends with Jillian, she'd always say green juices are amazing for cravings. You've got to have green juice every day. Green juices make you feel the best. And I never got into juices until 3 years in. And sometimes green juices has helped me with craving so much, and just not craving. I never really craved anything cooked, but just being able to eat the way I want to eat each day and stay like hydrated with minerals. And so there's something to the greens. Most people say that it's the minerals. We need minerals. And then the more magnesium you have, the less blood sugar problems you have, also the better your metabolism and the less weight gain. And we get all that from mineral-rich foods. Oh, that's nice. You're a very lovely looking lass. Good job. Thank you. She does look good. Dr. Brooke Goldman does look good. She looks balanced. Like, that's what I like to think is eat this. Like, we don't, just because we eat raw, we don't get out of what the body, like, we don't get out of the fact that the body needs balance. And I think I lost my way with that. Like, I literally really feel I lost my way with that. But I think it's a trauma response. Is most people who end up on these diets have been through so much. They're literally desperate to save their life. And I did. But then I went down the route of like trying to escape it even more, is what I felt like I did. And fruit really does that. And fruit is good because you do feel very connected to God. And I get the point that it's very high vibrational. It's just, I think that to be healthy on planet Earth, this is what I see. I see everything is vibrational energy. The highest is 100% fruit, okay? The best sometimes I've ever felt has been on 100% fruit. But let's say the fruit vibrates so high, it really doesn't match the energy of the planet anymore. This is how I see it. And so to stay healthy and match the planet at some level doesn't mean you have to be at the bottom of what's going on the planet. You can still be at the top, but you've got to have some, it's like, because you know how people say, if you don't match somebody's energy, it will fall out of your life. If you don't at some level match the planet's energy, you don't just get a new planet. You don't resonate with the planet anymore. It's the same principle. And I believe to stay on the planet and resonate with it, or even just, you know, above it at some level, it's got to have like some band of frequency. You've got to have veggies, nuts, seeds, greens, fruits. Like at least greens. This is what, and also the other thing, which is kind of common sense, is not, only 100 years ago, you'd bite into a banana and get a mouthful of seeds. Like, bananas was seed packed. And that doesn't mean that us as frugivores wouldn't have spat them out, but we would have been intaking constant amounts of amino acids, higher amino acids, plus fats from an abundance of seeds. Us taking seeds out has made this extremely high vibrational food, which doesn't resonate with the planet. Which means that obviously you feel very enlightened, but if you don't match something, you have to leave. So whether you don't match it because you kill yourself in some toxic way, you go down, or whether you go too high up, both to me are like, you don't want to be on the planet. And this planet has its own frequency. That's how I see it. It's like a very simple way of like looking. I love your videos so much, and I have lost, is it 20 kilos? Maybe that's what Amber's saying. You're welcome. Kilograms. Yes. Congratulations, Amber. You're amazing. And you know what is like a lot of people might find Dr. Brooke Goldner's protocol or Dr. Morse's, or even find my channel and they're like, you know, you're the reason I lost weight or I started following something. But can I say the work that somebody has to do to lose weight and to heal themselves is completely all them and more? And I don't even think that's what she's saying here. But what I'm saying is, even if you're following some sort of protocol, you're the one that has to face the fridge every day. You're the one that has to face your cravings. You're the one that has to go out with your family and do what you do. The only person facing that every day is you. So congratulations, Amber. It is 3 o'clock. Hey, I'm going to California soon. My salads and Napa. Oh, good. We're giving out advice here. I like this. Giving out recipe advice. The salad saved my life because at rock bottom, I got onto raw foods and I was really sick. So anyone just joining, I'll show you one more photo of me when I started. I've had over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed, and when I started eating this salad, I looked like this. Liver was failing, hair was falling out. 10 months later, I look like this. So, and all my health problems, but the only health problem I still had in that photo from a blood test point of view was that all my liver markers had not completely come back up. I was not anemic in this photo. I was, my blood was making proteins. What else? My B12 was still fine. I do have a shot of B12 each year, but I don't think I'd had one at that stage. I had no iron infusions anymore, no vitamins. All it was this salad and fruits at that stage. I didn't have a lot of fruit at this stage. That came after this. And that's when I start making videos a year later with problems. I'm like, I'm getting all these rashes. I can't get salt in. I'm losing some hair. But yeah, so I started making this salad and I got well. Because it's raw. It's all raw. I live in the tropics, so cruciferous tend to be very spicy and pungent. It's harder to eat greens and veggies in the tropics. Well, it says me who was just in the tropics, that's all I ate. I was only drawn to it. There was jackfruit that I had and had some black sapote besides that. 9:30. Yes, and that's the problem, is I don't want anybody sick. And I don't think it's a matter of like, I don't even think I instantly went raw. Yes, I did. Wish this didn't go dark, but anyway. My screen for some reason is dimmed. I feel like I'm always learning. It's like a health journey. Like, and the tools I even learned, some of the tools that I learned as a paleo, like come up and serve me now. Like, you're never not learning as long as you're trying to look after yourself. That's what I like to bestow. Once you learn, your body will guide you. Your consciousness will guide you. The only person that you need to love, first and foremost, on this planet is you. It's like the oxygen mask on a plane. Don't put it on your kid first, put it on you. And then you'll be alive and well for your kid. Your kids are watching you. Most of this came from watching my dad every day get up and exercise and eat, make juice before he even made my sister and I food, make himself this big bowl of raw muesli with plant-based milk, salad sandwiches for lunch. He never got sick. I'm like, why? Like, everyone's always watching. So we've got to look after ourselves. Do you stop craving sugar with this diet? Yes, because you can eat dates, you can eat bananas, you can have the sugar, you can have maple syrup. I try to stay away from that stuff. That to me is like treat stuff. Anything processed just makes my brain feel like I'm eating cooked food. So I tend to do like whole foods. Hang on. My favorite. Okay, these are not the freshest dates. They've literally been sitting in my fridge for weeks because I've been decanned. But one of my favorites is the medjool dates. They're still pretty juicy. You just take the seed out. If you need to snack or have a treat, what I get people I work with to do is pick your favorite nut. And usually, I think it tastes like pecan pie. You can also put a little bit of cacao on it as well, or carob. But I say get your favorite nut, which I love pecans. You just take out the seed in that and shove a couple in. Oh my gosh, it's like eating, it's chewy caramel. They're medjool dates, like you will love. This diet has every flavor, and then that's probably why I was eating so much, because it all tastes so good. I've got hazelnuts up there. You can get make protein balls. But I found the more you're hydrated, like the more you have the greens and a bit of juice and a smoothie, you just don't, eventually that stuff is not even in your thoughts anymore. I was never a sugar person anyway, to be honest. I'm like a savory, not that I had a lot of fatty foods, just more always veggies. I was more a veggie girl. But you can put nut butter in it. You can put peanut butter or cashew butter if you're just starting out. But dates are amazing. Like I have maple syrup in there that's been there since the raw vegan bundle. And like I use it during the bundle because some of the recipes have maple syrup, but I just prefer like the whole dates. We're gonna have more. I say I'm full, but I'm not. I've been drinking peach juice. Wow, I don't think I've ever had peach juice. Is that fresh? Because I think peaches are hard to juice. Now it's like full, all soaked in. I can taste so much garlic. Salados. Is she Australian or just artistic? I couldn't be bothered putting on an accent. I'd forget. Let me tell you, I've been following raw foodies for a decade. I've been so confused until... That's really interesting, you know. That's so interesting. I love seeing that. So Creative Heart has said, oh my God, tell me about it. I've been following raw foodies for a decade and I've been so confused until Dr. Brooke Goldner's guidance. So Dr. Brooke Goldner is the one that I started following her ways with having the higher omega-3s and veggies in my diet. And a lot of the rest of the community is more high fruits. Well, not all. Marcus and Cara are high fat. Well, Marcus still has some fruit, but I get why Cara looks so young. All that fat that she gets in, holy moly. If you get nuts and seed fat in, I swear to God, it makes you look so much younger. Plus, it's got higher protein in it as well. But anyway, yeah, I'm so glad that you found what works. What does that say? I keep having to move. Ensalada, palata, I don't know what that means. I eat everything. I live in Central California, so I get the best, thank honestly. Good for you. Does your family speak to you now? What changed? Yeah, so I was cared for my whole life. I never moved out of home by my family or carers when I was sick. And I had I'll go back a little bit, not the whole way. You can go look at another live, but like that's my whole life, 40 years. And then when I got psychiatric problems, I was still there, but then I started drinking to cope. My liver failed. My mum has Lyme's disease, so she's got to look after herself as well. And they said you can't come home from the hospital when I'd had these infusions for 3 weeks for my liver. So I lived in some hotels, and then I tried to go to rehab and I kept having seizures. And then I slept outside the hospital for a few nights, and a brother-in-law helped me get a hotel again. But then I always never went back to that because I was just had like FND, I had all these other health problems. And then also I had these psychiatric problems and complex PTSD. I was just reliving my past all the time. And then anyway, after about a month and a half of living in hotels and on the street, a family member helped me get my own place, and I was just so sick I didn't cook. So I just ate the food raw, and when I ate it raw, I just noticed I could get up. But as I got up and started to, your mental health is so amazing on raw food. It's like the first thing that just went normal. And it was not, like I spent 10 months in an acute psychiatric unit. I think in that one time I was scheduled like 3 times. It was crazy. And so anyway, as I got better, when I saw people in my past, I had been through a lot, and I thought people were treating me badly. Like, I was disconnected from my sister, my parents, and friends, and in my head, they were doing it to me, which is victimhood, right? Once you start healing, I was like, you know what? I could have always healed myself. Nature's been in front of me my whole life. You know, I never took the plunge to try and eat raw food, which was essentially there if I had listened to my body, because all I did is start listening. And I started to see that everything that had occurred had always been me. And when you do that and take responsibility for your entire life, including deciding to go into hospital, deciding for my health to get so bad I needed surgeries, is you own your future. No one has more power now or ever than me. No one can change. If something comes into my life or occurs, it's because of something I've done in this lifetime to kind of bring it there. So back to my parents. So the only time they spoke to me when I was at that rock bottom was I couldn't talk on the phone to a bank or pay a bill. So dad would get on the phone and say my name and stuff. Like, I was really sick. That's how I couldn't read what a raw vegan was. But then I couldn't go, it wasn't allowed in their house because I had been stealing alcohol. I would meet them in the park when I first get up with Snowflake, who was the dog that was always around when I was sick and mum was sick. And so we started reconnecting. By my birthday, I think was the first time I went there, possibly, for my 40th. I think we were in the park most of the day. It was during COVID too, so I mean, I think I was allowed in there. I went a couple of times, but that wasn't why I was allowed in there. I wasn't allowed in there. So very quickly I healed, but it takes years to kind of get reconnected. Also, I lost a lot of memory, so I wasn't emotionally connected as I am now to my family. But yeah, so I'm all connected. But once you heal with raw foods, you don't just heal physically. Like, to heal your actual soul is something I've never experienced eating vegan or paleo or any of these like Atkins or anti-candida diets. Like, as soon as I started to eat raw, I was like, oh my God, I feel completely different. But do know I ate raw very simply. It was just eat the veggie raw or eat the fruit raw or a couple nuts. Like, I knew that there was something about the vibrate. You could see, I knew there was something different about this food that's like alive than anything that had been dry or processed. So I did have some dry food, but like, that was to keep me raw. The main thing is every time I went to eat it fresh. If you're about to not eat raw, of course, have dried fruit and some nuts or tamari with nuts. But most of what I ate was raw. And that's why in this salad, everything is fresh, except I would add at the end some, which I got rid of after 3 months, the dried turmeric and paprika. So then I got rid of the salt. I ate only fresh for 2 years. Look, I don't recommend it forever. I probably did it too long. You need salt. I feel like on this planet you need salt. You can definitely go without it for a period, but yeah. So what changed was me, I think. What's on the menu today is tomorrow is turmeric. It should be turmeric mango spicy salad, I think, but there ain't no mango today. Thank you, Creative Heart, for all this mod you're doing. Thank you. Should I take magnesium? So magnesium helps me a lot, but what helps me more and first and foremost is my diet. So when a lot of people contact me and they're like, should I take this and should I take that? But their diet isn't changing and they're not exercising. And as long as you don't think the magnesium will fix your life or change much, the only thing these things do is support. So I'm like, well, I've got it, my cold flared up a bit, so I'm not exercising today, but most days I exercise. That can just be walking or yoga. I'm out in nature, I'm eating good food, and I'm very selective what comes into my body. Like magnesium is one of them. I would love not to take magnesium, but at the moment, so I take magnesium. In fact, 2 years after being raw, my blood test came back and they thought I was taking vitamin D supplements because my vitamin D was so high. but I'm outdoors all the time by the beach. But I only take B12 shots. And this time I'm letting this go as long as I can. I just do it myself, but this time I'm going to only do it if the blood test says it's low. I just don't want stuff in my system. I take magnesium at night, B12 shot, let's say once a year. And I take the enzymes and probiotics in the morning. And I take hormone replacement therapy because I've had a hysterectomy. That's all I take. Magnesium does really help me, but the diet helps me the most. 2 a.m. in Argentina, you probably should go to bed. Oh, Amber said, you're so beautiful and I'm so glad you're okay. I love you so much and I'm so grateful for you. Oh, I'm so grateful for you too, Amber, and congratulations on what you've done. How long have you been a creator? Okay, so I started posting salads and recipes and made my website after being raw for only like 3 months. I had so much in me I wanted to share. And I was saying last night, it was such a big deal. Each time I posted, just a lot of the time it was in these bowls, a funny little salad with a recipe, and I would check who liked it and I'd check if anyone followed me. And I think I had about 200 followers just because I started that account when I got well in 2018. And I was, after I kind of lost my memory. And then I got sick again and just that account wasn't used. And then I changed the name to Raw Sky because I realized I'm just going to raw through life, like ROAR. And from there, I think it was about 6 months after that I posted my first video. I think I always wanted to do it and I was doing it. I was just talking to people in the community, started doing lots of lives, doing the Raw Vegan Bundle. And the more I posted, they say if you post every day for a year, you'll never have to work in your life again. Not true. I was making like what I eat in a day videos, which when I was eating a lot of fruit did really well. Like some of them went to 1 million, and which is viral. So then I've got like quite a few followers from that. But then the algorithm changed on Instagram, but I also stopped posting what I eat in a days. So all up, this whole type journey, so let's not say 4 years, let's say 3.5 years. I've been doing the creator thing. And the more you do it, the more you can get confident to do more. So like I was always just posting on Instagram and Facebook, and then I got the confidence to do some YouTube. And then from there I did some TikTok, and I've tried to post on Threads, but I have my limits. So you just keep posting. And so, but yeah, to answer your questions, about 3.5 years. Is the peanut butter lower in omega-6? No, it's high in omega-6, but if you want to work around, what I have done before is I use flax oil with peanut protein. So, I get Sun Warrior protein powder. Not protein powder, sorry. It's defatted. Basically, this is defatted peanut butter. Will become once you put liquid in it. So it's just like other brands usually have sugars and emulsifiers and all sorts of things, salt. This is just peanuts that have the fat removed. And I've made a few recipes where it smells like peanuts. I use flax oil, which is high in omega-3 with the peanut oils. There you go. If someone's healing and they're okay with this. Also cashew protein powder from PB2, that's just cashews. The peanut butter one isn't just peanuts. But if you want a higher omega-3s, this with this. You probably don't have this brand, but cold pressed flaxseed oil plus this, and you've got high omega-3 peanut butter. Problem solved. But I will tell you, in my experience, protein powder isn't easy to digest. It's almost easier to have peanut butter, but I went through a stage of doing that and I was fine and I have no stomach. So, hello. To God, I don't know what that means. How much do I weigh? So I did, in that photo I showed when I first started, which you can't see my body, so I won't. Oh, you probably can. Actually, there is a photo I can show you. I started this part. So some of these photos here, which I'll put up. That one there, I was 37 kilograms. My body was literally shutting down, and then I lost my mind. This is back in 2018. I lost my memories and just went into trauma. Like, I wouldn't even talk for weeks. Anyway, and then I got well very quickly after I couldn't remember things. But then when I started this journey, here, there's, I think, me standing somewhere. You can't see that well. Maybe here. Can you see that? Can you see how skinny I am there? I know it's dark, but I was like 45 kilograms. And then I started eating raw foods. And I wonder if there's a picture here of me, like, I started eating just like raw foods. I put on weight, but I stayed eating like fruits and stuff. And there isn't really a photo here. I ended up at about 58 kilos in a year. Here, there's one that I don't think you can actually see my body. So I ended up about 58 kilograms. Then juicing, I seem to put on, like, I got shingles and then I went juicing, and I seem to put on a lot of weight when I put the nuts and seeds back in my diet. But I was still having a high amount of fruit. So I didn't have nuts or seeds for 2 years, and I don't know what my weight got up to, but I put on, when I weighed myself recently, and please know I run and do Pilates, I weighed myself and I got up to 64. I think I've lost about 5 kilos, maybe 6 or 7 kilos since doing Dr. Brooke Goldner's protocol. So I could not stop putting on weight. It felt like menopause. Also, I put on my hormone replacement, and I think at the start when you first put that on, I always tend to swell up, and that's just too much for me because it's still small, but because I have no stomach, I have to be eating a lot to maintain that weight, and then I get gut issues. I don't have gut issues if I sit under, I think, 57 kilograms, just because I'm not over consuming and irritating the gut. So I have lost weight, but I don't necessarily think it's that I was eating less calories. I was eating the right foods. Fruits and nuts do not work for me. Even just fruits, I was putting on weight, but then I thought nuts were going to fix it, like get more minerals in. And then I felt like I was creating more blood sugar problems. And so now I feel like I've still got my boobs and I'm small, but I'm not like uncomfortable. And as I said, I don't think necessarily 64 kilograms, 64 and a half is big, but for me, so that was still a size small in clothes. So that was still small, but I seem to not have gut issues in my entire life or mast cell flare-ups to a huge extent, like the rashes and nerve pain, that sort of stuff, if I'm eating healthy and I sit, from 55 probably to 58 kilos, because then I'm not absolutely thrashing my stomach with food. So I would say I haven't weighed myself. I was freaked out when I saw how much weight I had put on, because I'd gone 58 was like size small, and I started to notice I was going into a medium very quickly, and I probably was a medium. I probably just in denial. And then I tried to lose weight by just like maybe not eating as much, and that made me feel better, but I felt deprived basically kind of until I did Dr. Brooke Goldner I don't do the smoothies, I do juices. I juice most of the morning, and then I have cruciferous veggies with chia and flax as much as I want, and then I have berries. It really was a transition back off sweet fruits to berries and green apples and a little. When I have sweet fruit now, I'm so overwhelmed. Like I'm really overwhelmed by it. Whenever I came off my juicing and had sweet fruit, I started vomiting it back up. I really didn't have, my blood sugar problems were not good. So I hope that answers your question about weight. You have pecan trees. Yum. I'm a garlic fiend. I had really bad Crohn's. It's not great for me, but it's the best ingredient in the world. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of it because when I was doing the protocol I was doing, well, it's like a take on Dr. Brooke Goldner's is I wanted to, for histamine reasons, let go of everything, but I'm not reacting to this. I did feel my ears get a bit buzzy. There's a lot of histamines in this. We're talking apple cider vinegar. We're talking about the citrus, the tomato, the cashew, like a lot. But I noticed when I had fermented food pizza with Gabriella, I've been doing Dr. Brooke Goldner for like, it's been about a month. I will double check how long it's been. And I have days off, well, not completely off, but I'll have a meal that's not high omega-3 and cruciferous or like low sugar fruit. And I seem to just do really well. But tomorrow I'll be back to what I usually do. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. I only hear that once a year, wasn't it? Like at the Commonwealth Games and the Olympics. You have a panic attack? No, you've got to move over your panic attack when you have broccoli. Broccoli is not good. I like broccolini. Broccoli for me is a lot. Broccolini is like the more digestible one. It is 3:30. Okay. Sky, what is your opinion what Freely is preaching? She's telling people like you, Raw Christina and Jillian, to eat leafy green. Hang on. Eat less green. More. Says greens are too stimulating. So I think Freely's been, this is my opinion, I think Freely's been doing this a long time. And I also am not sure whether she has had acute health issues. And this is coming from my case. Okay, so she obviously has her stomach. She hasn't had a hysterectomy. So in my case, I don't think anyone can speak on it directly. But I also think that when you've been doing it a long time in a certain way, you also know how to kind of push or pull your own body. You become an expert on it, right? So what she's doing may work for her, but it 100% doesn't work for me. Look, Freely is one of my friends. I speak to her about, she wants me to do more fruit and sugar, but also different, I have done a lot of fruit and it doesn't work for me. But if, in truth, someone like Jillian, who I'm very close with, is able to do high sugar sometimes and do high fat other times. I don't have that luxury, and I wonder if it is because of my stomach. But then Raw Christina is like, I was talking about this last night, and she's been doing it a long time, 20 years, is she does juices first off. This is like, I know she has like days where she has a lot of fruit, but when I see what I eat in a day, mostly it's veggie-based juice. There's still fruit in it. Sometimes it's a fruit juice, but mostly it's a green juice or a juice that has a vegetable in it. So even if it's a pink juice, there's beetroot in it. Then her next meal has fruit, but it has protein powder, which essentially is the same as having vegetables in your smoothie. Very concentrated veggies. And then her night dish is like, leaves that for dead. It's probably like 2 or 3 of these. So, and yeah, if you saw, look, okay, you want to see me on fruit? I'll show you. I showed last night. It's embarrassing photo. This is only a year ago. My iron got low, high blood sugars and salt. Here, I'll show you. Where is that photo? Here. That's me on all fruit. It is at night. It is in the dark. But you can even see there's all inflammation in my face. There's weight gain. It did not serve me. I could show other photos as well, but it didn't, it definitely, this was me. I think I'd come off the back of doing just grapes. So I had done a lot of fruit at this stage, but that had only been about a year. And then this is when I started having problems about 3-4 months after this photo. I started having massive amounts of hair loss. The more food I got in, the more my gut swelled up. I tried to put salt in. I just was like allergic to everything. So going off what has happened to me, I just can't, even if I wanted to. I get really unwell. So yeah, I think that's really sad. So Madeline said she was one of the reasons I kept doing high carb for 11 years without any success. They say if you're not seeing results, you're not doing it. You're doing it wrong, or you're not doing it enough. And that's what I think is really scary, because what healed me was working out that what I did was, obviously I wasn't perfect at the start, but 6 weeks I had no symptoms. And everyone's like, what about your detox? I'm like, I didn't have any detox. I felt like crap because I'd stopped drinking and smoking, but like that would have happened no matter what I ate. Like, but I didn't have any rashes or like hairs falling out, my nails drop off. And there is a period where I was having a lot of fruit, where I was having problems, and I started going, oh, it's my body detoxing. But if I give my body a balance of what it needs, I feel good. And when I feel good, my inner voice is good. And when my inner voice is good, it's almost like that driving director of my life and how my health will be. So I think that's, look, and this is why I've never seen two people I even work with heal the same way. So what does that say? And the way I coach goes off the premise that all these raw vegans in the community that I'm connected with, that are creators or content creators, they don't eat the same way. I do a raw vegan bundle with no person that eats the same way. Even Nate, and listen, Nate still eats a little bit of cooked food. He does eat what she's eating each day. But I've worked with raw vegans and no raw vegans. They have partners, they don't eat the same. I've seen a video of raw Christina, and she's making something nice, a salad or something, and he's the partner at the time, I think Cash, is having an ice cream. Is no two people that are raw fooders, that are intuitive and on a healing journey, are eating the same way. And I think that's something to think about, because everyone's body is asking each day. What a raw vegan is they've got in touch with their body, and their body's telling them each day what they need. Like me, okay, so there's cruciferous vegetables, and there's a huge list of them, and I kept going to cauliflower and purple cabbage and Brussels sprouts. And there may be many reasons for that, but why not the other ones? And someone else might be like, I just love kale. And I'm like, no, it doesn't mean that kale's wrong. My body in a year's time may not be able to stop eating it. And I think even the reason that I healed with this salad is my body needed a lot of nutrients, but the turmeric is very anti-inflammatory. And I think there's a comfort aspect to getting like salty spice. But if you look at, so you've got like Chris Kendall, who does fruit all day and has a meal at night. You've got Lissa, who does it differently. She does like a smoothie in the morning and 2 veggie dishes. Jillian and I are good friends. We eat different. When we even when we travel, sometimes like I'm having fruit and I'll see her over there munching on a salad. Is where it's not, it's like most humans are kind of like, you eat what you crave, but I feel like raw vegans are like, you're literally looking at leaves of nutrients and stuff. And if you can help a person understand that, to listen to their body and not tap into cravings, you watch them heal. And a lot of people though that I work with have been through, because I've been through so much, are drawn to me because they have been through so much, and they're usually very inflammatory with mast cell activation. So it happened to me, but it was more for Dr. Morse. Yeah, I've had a lot of people angry with like Dr. Morse. being like, he's all saying it wrong. And I'm like, he's doing what he believes in. And that's like, we can't ever think that somebody's healing journey is the same as ours. And no matter who the person is that's preaching, including me, and that's why I don't say that this definitely healed me. And that's all I can say. I can't say that it'll heal the world. It will make you feel better than you are if you're eating a bad diet. But to stay on a raw diet, it's hard. The only way you do is if you can give yourself, you like love it. That's why I do so many different recipes. I bet she was a smoke show in her 20s. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks, Creative Heart. I still am. What's the recipe? You have to go back. I made this recipe. It literally saved my life. There's turmeric, avocado. We've got citrus dressing. We've got lots of veggies, a bit of paprika. There's cashews. There's almonds. There's like, basically this was my go-to salad when I healed myself. I was obsessed with it. But I definitely will pull out all those photos. So out of what I made, that's all that's left. There's not much left in that bowl. And a little bit I'm still picking out here. You can see the bottom there. There's only like a little bit there in that big salad, but I'll probably still pick at this tonight. I will pull out all those photos of 2021 when I healed myself. I literally took photos of everything I made each day and everything I took to the beach and ate, so you can see how I healed myself. So that will be fun live. I might do that on one of my Friday lives maybe. Hey Lily, hey Ava. So I've never written out the recipe for the salad. I think I've posted it on my story before. I could write it up. It's basically a bed of greens, and then it's like, well, I can write it up, but it's good if you go through and watch it, because you can see how I make, like, I use a vegetable peeler and get like starchy vegetables and make rib and noodles. Then I do a little bruschetta mix. I'll write it up. I will write it up. But every night's a little bit different. I always feel so satisfied after this salad. It probably could have got just about every raw food in it. Oh, and you know what else I used to put in it? I obviously wasn't called to this tonight. I used to put ripped up nori sheets to be more noodles. I used to like that noodle vibe. Noodle vibe. I don't do dinner club anymore. So I used to do that with Leanne, and I love it. I'm not sure. I think she's high raw vegan now. I'm not sure if she's still raw vegan. And then I got the shingles, and then I was like, didn't know what I was eating. So like I'd go to plan something, and I'm like, all I'm bringing tonight is a juice, or I'm not eating, and it just had to let it go. But we do the, which I think might even be better, we do the raw vegan party, which is on this week, which is on 7 p.m. on the 29th, I think. Have a look on my story. Oh, the videos are linked, ready to go. So the lives that are scheduled. So we're having the Europe party because Europe missed out on that party. I'm doing a Europe party, which is 11 a.m. CST time, and that's 7 p.m. Australian time. And then the next morning I wake up and I do the party, the raw party. And you get people like Lisa and Raw Chef Yin. It's the same thing. So it used to just be Leanne and myself who would bring dinner, but now we have a theme and we all bring our interpretation of the theme. So there's a lot of us, but you guys can watch it live on YouTube now. So it pretty much is dinner club, but it's not every week. But you can still go back and watch those. They're all on Instagram. The thing about Instagram, why I've moved away from it, is it's just not, couple reasons, is those lives are really unpredictable. You can do a live and the whole sound can be missing, or the sound can be in the wrong spot, or it will just black out halfway through, and then it gets lost as I post more. Whereas this, it's called evergreen. It's always relevant. Like this video now will still be circling. It could possibly take off again in 5 years' time. And so more people get help from seeing it. So that's another reason. Instagram's unpredictable, and this is like evergreen. So, and it's easy to find the videos as well. I can just go down and go here and send it off to someone. Someone will be like, oh, do you have a video on this? I'll be like, oh, I did a live a year ago and just can't find it. And Facebook, I used to post only in my Facebook group. I do these talks in my Facebook group, but then Facebook deletes after a month now. So I was like, okay, I'm off to YouTube. Oh, thank you. Party boy said congratulations. Thank you. Okay, so no sugar. So if you go raw vegan, you can only do it, or you're plant-based and you can only do it because you have sugar, we'll do it. Don't use why you think you can't do something as an excuse. A lot of people are like, I can't go raw vegan because I don't like plums. I can't go raw vegan because my kids won't go raw vegan. And I'm like, why can you? Or why can you increase the raw foods in your life? You don't have to go raw vegan. Maybe you like every Sunday, salad Sunday. I don't know, like today, salad Sunday for me, salad Sunday. Only way you get on a healing journey is find your reasons you can do it. And start with where you're at. I really don't like processed sugar. I don't even like maple syrup. Yeah, I feel like a different person. Did the shingles take forever to go away? I heard it's bad. Shingles is a biatch. So I got sick for the first time in my life at 8 years old with chickenpox. Sorry, I've been sick before that, but then you get well and you go back to school and life goes on. I got chickenpox at 8, and then my glands stayed swollen every time I'd fall asleep in class and be in sick bay, hospitals. And then they took my tonsils out and that helped, and I slowly got better. But so when the shingles flared up for me in 2018 through the trigeminal nerve, through the eye, oh my God, that's when afterwards I got a functional neurological disorder, which displayed like a stroke. Couldn't walk and talk. It must have inflamed my brain. And then I had severe PTSD. I got lost in the woods. If you Google missing Sky Conway, missing girl, I was missing. Police and rescue teams had to come and find me. I've like really had a bit of a life here, right? But this all comes after the shingles. Asked my parents, things just go horrid for me. And then it took about 1.5 years of like chronic sickness. Then I found this lifestyle and I got myself well. So when I was doing really high fruit, so like grapes and watermelon, to the point where I couldn't really digest anything else, even if I needed it when I had shingles, because then I became really inflamed. I literally lived off grapes and watermelon until I juiced myself out of shingles. I couldn't get up again. After having shingles, my mast cell then flared up. I put on a whole lot of weight, but I think that was all the fruit and juice that I was doing. And I struggled more so with my mast cell activation syndrome since the shingles. And that was at the end of not the year we just had, the year before. So I've essentially 1.5 years away from my last bout of shingles. But trust me, on raw foods, it's like a virus that can really affect people, like COVID can, or the flu can, or Epstein-Barr can, shingles can. You hear all these people that get a virus, and then afterwards they've got like long haul COVID. And so shingles is absolutely horrible. But it's even horrible after, when you just can't recover. When I had shingles and just come off the back of it, and I'd see people and they're like, yeah, my wife couldn't walk for 6 months afterwards. It's just horrible. I think because it's a virus. I think some viruses for some people are just horrible. Thank you. And introducing foods back in again. Isn't that interesting? So it's crazy how diet can have a massive impact. At my most shredded, I was 170. That went up to 240. Introducing new foods. Again, 30 pounds maybe from rice. I swear, once I'd had, I guess, my body, I think, to me, it wasn't the food, it was the amount of food. So I had been, when you have fruit, you eat such large amounts that when you add another food back in, you think you need such large amounts because your body's run like that for so long. And that I just put on, like, even when I wasn't putting that stuff in, I was putting on weight. And then I tried to put things in I thought my body needed and put on more weight. But, so all that, it'd be like 20 pounds that I didn't want on my body. Or maybe not 20, maybe 18. I'm really bad with pounds. I'm hoping that I'm not there. It's your due date. Well, congratulations and good luck with that. That looks like it's Sophie. Good luck with that. I hope it goes well. I think the fluctuations come when your metabolism is damaged and the foods you're eating, blood sugar. Like blood sugar and magnesium helps as a whole, like gut health. It's crazy. Oh, I'm so sorry your dog got shot. Yeah, because Freely's really good at, I think we're talking about Freely here. She's doing like a cooked meal at night. She has like cooked breads and cooked rices, and she's doing fruit all day. If I had one meal like that, I wouldn't get up. So, and like even the foods that she has in her, I have to stay light as much as I can for my body to function. And I just think Freely is really good at running her body, but I think she helps a lot of people with weight issues, which if weight's just your issue, carbohydrates can help. But if you want to balance your hormones and stay young, I have found that I need minerals, protein, amino acids, seeds, fruit too. I need balance. Hello. Actually, detoxing tea, that's the one thing. Dr. Morse's herbs completely bring up my mast cell activation. Do not like it, but a lot of people say the one thing that they rely on whenever they get sick is they have a cup of his detox tea. I have it. Tends to knock me out. Why is there red blinking in the AC? I don't know. I'm 44. Cucumbers are amazing. They're so hydrating. New Zealand. I'm vegan. Where do you get your food? So I did a live yesterday. I showed all the food I got from the farmers markets. So I get it from Ramsgate Farmers Markets. The guy I get it off, it's not organic, it's spray-free and biodynamic, which means he can sell it for not as expensive. Organic can become quite expensive because you need to pay for all overheads to be certified in some way, and it's expensive. But this produce is like, I took it to a raw food meetup and people have said they've never tried anything like it. Actually, I eat slower with chopsticks. I was like, right now I could just keep scooping it up. Maybe that's something. If you want to eat slower, eat with chopsticks. What's the protein source in the salad? All the greens, the veggies, the cashew, the almonds, the chia, the pumpkin seed. Yeah, I could say avocado, but avocado isn't like a massive source. But then again, I had almost 2, and I think that's like 4 each. So there's another 6 grams. It all adds up. So a woman my age only needs 50 grams. What a lot of women are saying is when they add like heaps of protein, I noticed when I was using those protein powders, is they start to gain weight. It's still weight. It's still like that's the other thing I noticed about, if you want to lose weight, eat less calories. It's another thing, like I'm over here eating like the highest calorie fruits, wondering why I'm putting on weight, yet I swap it out for just veggies and my weight goes down. And I'm like, Sky, how did you get yourself so traumatized that you think the rules of thermodynamics don't apply to you anymore? So it's just like common sense stuff, but this is like a real balanced salad. If it had mango in it, it would have more sugar, but this is really good. I'm reading YouTube. I will eventually write the recipe up for this, but I did share the recipe earlier. Maple syrup is very good for you. It might be. Where's the scrunchie from? I don't know, my drawer. Oh, I know. I do my hair. If you've seen me do my hair curling. So at night, I do my, I really don't want to bring it out here right now, but I put a roller in my hair. And it came with that. It's on my Amazon storefront. I can link the Amazon storefront after. But you just put them on the ends. So heatless curler, and you just wind the hair around, and I put a scrunchie in the end. There are some lives where I show you how to do it. I've never put heat in my hair. I do get my hair dyed now. So we've been on this live. That's 140 minutes. What's that? That's like 3 hours. Is that 3 hours? That's more than 3 hours. That, I think it's 3 hours. What time is it? I'm going to go to, maybe it's like 2 hours. This is so good. You could even put mango avocado curry powder, I think. Turmeric, you can get like curry, mango curry, coconut in there. I'm still going, guys. See? Thanks, Creative Heart. Ah, congratulations, Southern Vegan Eats. Today is day 26 raw vegan for me. I'm trying to eat a wide variety of simple foods. That's the way. Okay, I need to go to the bathroom, so I'll be back. I've been on this way too long. Okay, I'm back. It is really good. It's like greens and veggies and turmeric and paprika. Thank you. The fiber helps a lot with blood cleansing. Some nutritionists say vegetables have anti-nutrients. Okay, there will be a specialist somewhere in the world that will tell you tomatoes are good and tomatoes are bad. Greens are good, greens are bad. Pumpkin seeds are good, pumpkin seeds are bad. Watermelon's good, watermelon's bad. Do you get where I'm going with this? That's why I think I had to find for myself what heals, because you're only as good as the person you listen to's journey. So if somebody's journey has just been sitting there as a nutritionist learning, that's all you're getting. Someone like me, at least, I'm sharing from being through the depths of hell, and I'm sharing from there. And in fact, what you're better off doing is listening to everyone and seeing what you're called to. But saying like, I feel sick after every time I eat watermelon is a really good indicator that maybe watermelon for you does not work. Whereas someone else might be like, I feel so hydrated and energized after tomatoes. That's a good indicator that right now tomatoes are good for you. Like, that's what you have to always think about is someone somewhere is only, well, you could also say they're trying to make money, but usually they're only as good as their journey so far. So just say, nobody ever had a problem with greens until recently. Now there's anti-nutrients, right? And so what I worked out is like 50 years from now, all the science we know is going to be all not mean anything. So we may as well go out there and do what I did and sort this stuff out for ourselves. Because like literally every 50 years, like what is it at the moment? It's high protein. I think, what is her name? That Bethany Frankel was saying she's been through the high carb, I think it's like all these different diets, the Atkins diet. She's like, she goes, it keeps changing. She goes, what's right? What's wrong? And I'm like, well, that's kind of, I think what I ended up figuring out is no one's actually right except the person. Thanks, Creative Heart. I'm in Sydney. I probably do have food on my face. They told me once to eat cucumbers, honey and salt at the same time. It's a poison. Look, I don't even think that that's a poison. I don't eat honey because I'm vegan, but I think people have to start thinking for themselves. I think like, man, you go on and a reel will just come up and you're like how I got to here is because I think and crave these foods. And when I make them, I feel good. When I eat them, I feel good. But after it, I feel good. And that is a huge indicator. If you think about the food and the whole thought is good, and then making it feels good, eating it feels good, but then after, I'm not talking about just the high after, I'm talking about the next morning you literally jump out of bed. That to me is how you know. Yeah. Thank you. I'm really getting through this salad, guys. Look. With no stomach. It's not really swollen. It's still flat. But I used to try and eat like this after fruit and it used to just swell. Or if I ate fruit, it would swell. I have to just pick what my body needs and put it in. But I would also say that most of this is water. I'm 44. I'm almost 44. Thank you. I actually haven't been working out that much lately because I had a cold. I was in Cairns. I'm making excuses for myself. I was craving this salad when I felt sick this morning. I'm like, this must be able to help me. Oh, thank you. It's not 1 in the morning. I'm in Australia. We are here. It's 4 p.m. I started this live, I think, at 1 p.m. or 1:30. And now we're up to, oh, you know what? Curried Brussels sprouts. Mashing avocado, lemon, curry powder, maybe a bit of maple, maybe not maple syrup, something sweet. Maybe orange juice. avocado, curry powder, garlic with some Brussels sprouts. They'll go so crunchy. I mean, okay, they are crunchy, but cut up some Brussels sprouts with that. That sounds good. Yeah, dates would be good, but I'm thinking dates are going to be chunky. You know what you could do? In a blender, put tomato, dates, lemon, maybe onion powder, curry powder, blend that up and then mash it through an avocado. I'm not a fan of blended avocado. Like, I did it for the first year or two because I didn't have any other fat but avocado. It is. If you want to eat slower and not too fast, and I think that's what helps. See, when I healed myself, when I hadn't been on social media for 2 years, I couldn't read, I knew what was happening. My brain's now all clogged from being online too much. Because right now, I would usually get a spoon or a fork and have like mouthfuls and eat too fast. And I bet that I wanted these because I just knew some way that that's what my body needed. It's so interesting when you lose, you have nothing, your body is talking to you. Right. Had no friends, no family, no internet. It was just me, the sun, the moon, nature. By a window, I'd watch the sun and the moon, and sometimes I'd get outside, but then usually I was exhausted. I feel like my body knew what was going on back then. We've got to all start eating like this. Because I eat really slow. If you have, only if you struggle with eating times. Yeah, a lot of people say the avocado texture is weird. It becomes like whipped or something. But yeah, if anyone wants like curried Brussels sprouts, or you could do with coconut. But I find blended coconut tastes like vomit. Says me who has recipes with it. But I can't get it right unless I eat it fresh. So if you eat those recipes with coconut in it, if you eat it fresh, it's fine. As soon as it starts to oxidize, it doesn't taste right. Did you have brain lesions from your health issues? No. Every time I did an MRI, they said it was perfect. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. It barely functioned. But no, I didn't. It is weird. It was like, it's such a weird thing. If you eat it straight away, you're okay. But as soon as the air touches it, this is so good. See, it's about finished, guys. I've actually got I try not work on the weekends, but I've actually got a lot of podcasts this week. I've got to set up. I've got one tomorrow with Layla again and her business partner who have a Reiki. They're going to talk about Reiki and how it's helped them both heal. But Layla's the one that sleeps outside and had the 2 babies with no pain. Her first baby when she was eating meat. She was collecting, hunting her own meat with her husband, making her own bread, had her first child in pain. The Women's Health podcast that's up, she is in that. She's a special speaker for that this week. And then she went raw halfway through a second pregnancy, and the baby, she had an ecstatic birth, so it kind of orgasmed, laughed its way out. And then the third one literally flew out, from what I understand. She's like, I can't wait, it's coming, type thing. And then she's up a few hours later doing the washing. So she said that she went raw vegan. She had the like chronic fatigue, the mast cell activation issues in university, and went raw vegan for like 8 years, I think, 6 years. And then naturopaths and doctors started to tell her she's never going to have a baby unless she eats meat. she didn't want to give up being so connected to the earth. So her and her husband, like literally did everything as if the hunter-gatherers would. And she still said she wasn't feeling good. And halfway through the pregnancy, she's like, I can't do this. I don't feel good. And her and her husband both went like 80-10-10. So lots of fruit and just greens, not much fat. And the baby came out with no pain. So she hadn't even been doing raw vegan. This is why I don't get this like detox thing, because like people that seem to just enjoy it and love it. I do get there's a transition, because I guess there is an adaptation, but once you start hydrating underneath that, you can tell you feel better. But yeah, so she was vegan, but then she was told that she's not going to conceive and that it was wrong. And then she left that and just went back to raw. So I think that's pretty cool. I need a spoon to get this last little bit of salad out. Oh, I feel really good. That's what's really hard, I think, about doing low histamine, high omega-3 diet, is that you feel better because you're not having any reactions. And I've got no blood sugar issues. My stomach's flat as a tack. But this, because a lot of the histamine foods that I miss, like avocados and tomatoes, are hydrating. It's hard to sprinkle dried chia on lettuce leaves. It's easier to do it on veggies. And so I'm hoping that I can get them back in now, because I spat it out. I do better with hydrating foods. But maybe that's it. Maybe I only have to do it until low histamine, until I don't react anymore. That's the goal. That was really good. I will write this up sometime this week. Be kind to me, because I've got a lot of podcasts on this week. Plus I have clients, so I've just got a busy week. But I will write this up. It is a huge bowl. I have no stomach and I ate it all. And you guys watched me. But the truth of it is most of that food is just crunchy water. So, and the only other thing I've had today is like 3 juices, because I woke up not feeling great. And I don't know whether my stomach just feels good. Not bloated, not bad, but I do put that down to having such a high omega-3 diet most days that I can have something like that and feel good. So yeah, so this has been a nice long live, guys. It's been like, it says 157, almost 160 minutes. So that's like, that's almost 3 hours. Yeah, that's good. Hopefully it helped lots of people. Go and make this salad, because it is so good. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Creative Heart, for your moderating there. Yeah, and I will see you also tomorrow. My first podcast is with Kiko, and then I think, no, then there's a break, and then I do the one with Layla, who, and her business partner, the lady that had the baby with no pain. Bye. Bye, Creative Heart.